Welcome to Planet Report, the show that brings you news briefs from all over the world. I'm Emily Campos. In this issue of Planet Report for the week of April 5th, we will learn about Britain opening a door to Hong Kong residents who are affected by the new security laws, protests in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a record-setting auction for Tom Brady's rookie card, a ketchup shortage in North America, and economic challenges in Latin America's third largest economy. First to Britain, where Hong Kong democracy activist Nathan Law has been granted political asylum. Nicholas Morales has the story.
Reuters is reporting that Hong Kong democracy activist Nathan Law said he's been granted political asylum in Britain, where he arrived last July after Beijing imposed a sweeping national security law on his home city that's been heavily criticized by the West. The move is certain to ratchet up tensions between London and Beijing as Britain opens its doors to potentially more than 5 million residents of Hong Kong in the wake of contentious security legislation. Law announced on Twitter that after several interviews in 4 months, the Home Office informed him that his asylum application was approved. The fact that I am wanted under the national security law shows that I am exposed to severe political persecution and am unlikely to return to Hong Kong without risk. Ramping up sweeteners to lure Hong Kong residents, Britain on Thursday pledged $59 million to help them find jobs, houses, and schools under the initiative allowing millions to resettle. Britain has accused China of multiple breaches of an agreement under which it handed the city back to China in 1997. It says China's security law and moves to disqualify pro-democracy legislators have undermined Hong Kong's high degree of autonomy. Hong Kong and Beijing officials have said that the law is vital to plug holes in national security defenses exposed by months of often violent protests in 2019, briefing in Beijing on Thursday. Hong Kongers became the 5th largest foreign investors in central London as of last August and have been driving up prices in some popular districts outside the British capital. London estimates that over 300,000 Hong Kong residents could emigrate over the next 5 years, and Bank of America expects Hong Kong residents moving to Britain could trigger capital outflows of $36 billion in 2021. For Planet Report, I'm Nicholas Morales. Back to you, Emily.
Thank you, Nicholas. The overflow of money intended from Hong Kong over the next few years may resemble a gushing river if even a fraction of the eligible population takes advantage of the opportunity. On to Africa, where Gabriel brings you a report of protesters in the capital city of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Reuters is reporting that the Congolese police fired live rounds on Thursday to disperse protesters demanding the departure of the United Nations peacekeeping mission from the city of Beni. Hundreds of youths have been protesting in several cities in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo since Monday, angry that the UN mission known as MONUSCO has failed to prevent a wave of civilian killings by armed groups. So far this year, around 330 people have been killed in the violence, and an unresolved legacy of civil war that officially ended in 2003, according to the Kivu Security Tracker, which maps unrest in the region. Bohindo Monstedt, the mayor of the city, said, "Young people have barricaded almost all of the roads to ask the UN mission to leave this region plagued by massacre. This morning, the police are clearing the blocked roads. That's why they're shooting all over the city." A local police spokesman confirmed that they were clearing blocked roads and re-establishing order. At least one protester was seriously injured by gunshot, said Clovis Mostova, a member of youth activist group Luca. "We only demand 2 things. For MONUSCO to leave and for the Congolese government to take its responsibility so that we can have peace," Mustava said. Responding to the protest, MONUSCO spokesman Matthias Gilman said on Wednesday, "We are here at the invitation of the government. It is not us who decides that we say." MONUSCO took over from the earlier peacekeeping mission in 2010 and has more than 12,000 troops deployed. Congo's mineral-rich east has been plagued by violence for decades, but killings have more than doubled in the last year, the United Nations says. For Planet Report, I am Gabriel Lodi. Back to you, Emily.
Thank you, Gabriel. Also from Africa, Reuters is reporting that at least 80 dolphins and a large number of fish have been washed up dead on beaches near Ghana's capital, Accra, since Friday, promoting investigations by the authorities. The cause of death was yet unclear. A team from the Fisheries Commission took fish and water samples from Osu Castle Beach in Accra. The country's Food and Drugs Authority said it was checking fish markets to make sure the fish that washed up dead were not sold. The head of Fisheries Commission, Michael Arthur Dadsey, told Reuters that between 80 and 100 dolphins were found. Moving to North America, a Tom Brady rookie card sold at auction recently and set a new record. Pedro Pimienta has the story.
Reuters is reporting that the so-called Holy Grail of Tom Brady's rookie cards sold for a record $2.25 million at an auction on Friday to an anonymous buyer, 2 months after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback picked up his 17th Super Bowl title. The signed card from the 43-year-old's rookie season with the New England Patriots is one of only a handful ever offered for sale, according to the auctioneer Leyland's, which called it the best Tom Brady rookie card available to the public. The sale smashes the previous record price for a football card. Last month, another card from Brady's rookie season fetched $1.32 million in an online auction. Tom Brady continues to shatter records both on and off the field. The GOAT. Brady now holds the distinction of having the most expensive football card ever sold, Leland's president Mike Hefner said in a written statement, calling the card one for the ages. Brady, who picked up his 5th Super Bowl MVP honors in February after defeating the Kansas City Chiefs at home in the championships game, is one of just 2 quarterbacks that have hoisted the Lombardi Trophy with 2 different teams and is widely considered one of the greatest to ever play the game. For Planet Report, I am Pedro Pimienta. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Pedro. With such a successful career, it's no wonder that buyers put in record bids for that rookie card. And autograph, no less. Also from North America, it seems that while the U.S. is facing a ketchup shortage, our neighbor to the north is hanging in there. Melissa Castellano has the story.
From Ottawa, CTV is reporting that Heinz Ketchup and French's Ketchup are not experiencing product shortages in Canada, as spikes in takeout orders are making ketchup tough to come by in the United States. In the U.S., Heinz has faced a surge in demand for ketchup packets driven by accelerated delivery and takeout trends, leading to a near shortage of ketchup packets in the U.S. A spokesperson for Heinz Canada said there is no such shortage looming in Canada. There has definitely been a surge in demand for ketchup packets in Canada driven by accelerated delivery and takeout trends related to the pandemic, but there is currently no shortage, the spokesperson wrote in an email. We continue to work with our food service operators to ensure their orders are filled in a timely way. Heinz Canada added that it has invested in its manufacturing facilities to meet the increased demand. In a statement, French's Ketchup said it expanded to its London, Ontario facility before the pandemic, and its new capacity is outpacing the double-digit growth in demand for the condiment. French's Ketchup supply is stable, both for restaurant use with ketchup packets and at-home use with bottles, the company wrote in the statement. At the beginning and throughout the pandemic, we have proactively increased our supply forecast in anticipation for the increased demand. In addition, we plan for the restaurant shift from tabletop ketchup to portion-controlled packets for takeout and pickup. For Planet Report, I am Melissa, and back to you, Emily.
Thank you, Melissa. The shortage of single-serving ketchup packets would have been even more serious if the ketchup were the #1 condiment in the United States. Quartz reports that while the size of ketchup market is about 800 million annually, that the king of condiments is actually mayonnaise, with annual sales of about 2 billion. Moving on to Argentina, Isaiah Rodriguez reports on how slowing economy and massive debt payments coming due soon are hammering the 3rd largest economy in Latin America.
From South America, Jazeera is reporting that Argentina has seen a steep climb in poverty due to coronavirus. The economic fallout from the coronavirus pandemic has worsened poverty in Argentina, with some 12,000 people in urban areas unable to afford a basket of basic food or essential services in the second half of 2020, official data showed on Wednesday. In the 31 large cities that were studied, the country's poverty rate arose from 40.9% in the first half of the year to 42% in the second, according to National Institute of Statistics. This figure comes on the back of 3 years of recession, worsened by economically devastating lockdown measures. This presented a steep climb of 6.5 percentage points from the last 6 months of 2019. Poverty is defined as the inability to afford a basket of basic food and services valued at $600 a month, a family of 4. People who cannot afford a basic basket of only food of about $250 for a family are classified as indigent. They are numbered 10.5% of the population in 2020. More than 50% of children up to age 14 lived in poverty, the data showed. Argentina registered its highest poverty rate of 58% at the end of 2002, during its worst economic crisis. Thousands of people marched in Buenos Aires earlier this month to demand food aid. Separately, as the government continues fighting the pandemic, the administration of center-left President Alberto Fernandez is also scrambling to renegotiate the roughly $45 billion country also the International Monetary Fund. The coronavirus crisis has ravaged the top grains producers' already ailing economy, complicating efforts to make goods on its obligations. Argentina also faces the maturity of $2 billion in debt. It owes the Paris Club group of creditor nations, a payment it hopes to reschedule as reserves have plunged along with up. For Planet Report, I have Isa Rodriguez. Back to you.
Thanks, Isa. That's our show. Thank you to our researchers and correspondents who found these great stories. If you're interested in learning more about any of these stories, check the links in the video description to read more. We'll see you back next week with a new Planet Report.